Why is it that no matter how much we meditate, read or chant, the same worries return over and over again? What is spiritual teachings feel profound in theory, but so hard to apply when we face real-life problems? Is there a truth so deep and so simple that, if understood, it can dissolve your fear, anger, and confusion in an instant? Welcome back to our channel, where we explore timeless wisdom to help you transform your life from within. If this is your first time here, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We bring you insights that can truly set you free. Today, we're going to unlock one of the most mysterious and powerful teachings in all of Buddhism, the Heart Sutra. It's short, poetic, and enigmatic. For thousands of years, seekers have chanted its words without fully grasping their meaning. But at the center of this text lies a truth so profound, so liberating, that it has been called the sword that cuts through all delusions. And here's the most shocking part: its essence can be distilled into just 3 words. But before we reveal them, let's first explore the context. The Heart Sutra, formerly known as the Purifymind Sutra, is not a narrative or a story. It is a concentrated burst of spiritual dynamite, exploding every idea you've ever had about life, self, and reality. In just over 260 words, it dismantles the concepts we cling to most tightly: form, feeling, thought, will, consciousness. Tells us that none of these are fixed, and everything we see, everything we feel, everything we believe is empty. This is not nihilism. It is freedom. And it all comes back to 3 words. Whose words are: form is emptiness. Exit. Let that sink in for a moment. Form is emptiness. Let me explain. We spend our lives clinging to forms, our bodies, our possessions, our relationships, our achievements. We define ourselves by these things. The Heart Sutra tells us, none of it is solid, none of it is permanent. Everything that takes form is, at its core, empty. This doesn't mean it's meaningless. Quite the opposite. It means that nothing is fixed, and everything is possible. Things is not of its space. Space to change, space to grow, space to be free. Let's take a simple example: your emotions. Today, you feel angry, and anger feels real, solid, justified. Like tomorrow, it's gone. Does that mean it never existed? Well, it means it was never fixed. It was never you. It was just a form arising, passing, empty at its core. Apply that to every fear, every pain, every attachment you've ever had. If form is emptiness, then nothing that hurts you can hold you. Let's go even deeper. You might think of your body as a fixed identity. This is me, you say, but your body is constantly changing. Cells die and regenerate, where thoughts change, where personality evolves. What, then, is the you that stays the same? The Heart Sutra replies, there is no fixed self, and this is not cause for death, but it's the key to liberation, because if there's no fixed self, then there's no fixed suffering. This is what Zen Master Thich Nhat Hanh meant when he said, thanks to emptiness, everything is possible. You are not bound by your past. You are not trapped in your fear. You are not defined by your trauma, because you are not a solid object. You are spacious awareness. And that brings us to the second part of the teaching. Emptiness is form. This is the other side of the coin. Just as form is empty, emptiness itself gives rise to form. In other words, your thoughts arise from space. Your actions arise from freedom. Your future arises from choice. Emptiness is not a black hole. It is a blank canvas. Let's bring this home with a story. There was once a monk named Ryukan who lived in a small hut in the mountains. He owned nothing but a bowl and a rope. One night, a thief came to his hut. Finding nothing to steal, the thief turned to leave. Ryukan saw him and said, "You've come a long way, and leave empty-handed." He offered the monk his rope. The thief, shocked, took it and left. Later that night, Ryukan wrote in his journal, "I wish I could have given him the moon." This is the spirit of the Heart Sutra. In you own nothing, you fear nothing, and you cling to nothing, you lose nothing. When you see the emptiness of all things, you gain the freedom of everything. You might be wondering, how do I apply this in real life? Begins with perception. Next time you feel overwhelmed by emotion, by conflict, by cravings, pause. Ask yourself, what is this made of? Or did it come from? Is it permanent? Just asking these questions starts to shift the energy. And next, practice letting go, not as a rejection, but as a return to truth. When you release your grip on the things you fear to lose, you begin to experience them more deeply, more honestly, more joyfully. Let's say you're afraid of losing someone you love. That fear causes anxiety, control, conflict. But if you remember that love is a form and form is emptiness, you begin to love not from need, but from freedom. You become more present, more compassionate, more open. This is what true love looks like. It's not possessionist's presence. Or take suffering. Let's say you're grieving. The loss is real. The pain is raw. But even grief is a form arising, dissolving. And you remember this, you allow grief to move through you, instead of becoming you. That's the secret. Emptiness doesn't cancel experience, it holds it. And when you chant the Heart Sutra, you're not reciting poetry, you're affirming a new way of being. Say, I am not this pain, and not this fear, and not this identity, and the space in which all things come and go. Say, I don't need to cling, I don't need to fight, I don't need to protect, and free. And that freedom doesn't make you passive, it makes you powerful. Because when you're not bound by fear, you can act from clarity. Then you're not controlled by desire, you can love without condition. And you're not obsessed with self, you can serve the world with grace. That is the promise of the Heart Sutra. And it all starts with 3 words. Form is emptiness. Interiorize them, meditate on them, apply them. Because they are not just a teaching, they are a liberation. I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever had a moment where you saw through the illusion of form? Have you ever felt the spaciences beneath your suffering? Share your story in the comments. If this teaching resonates with you, please support our channel, like, subscribe, and consider joining our member community where we dive deeper into these sacred texts and explore how to apply them in daily life. You are not your body, you are not your story, you are not your fear. You are the space where love, peace, and wisdom rise.